What's good, guys? Welcome to Belmondo TV. It's your boy JC back again with another video, guys. Welcome to the channel, guys. It's been a long time. I did promise I'm going to do like as many videos as I can, but you know, YouTube's not easy. It's not easy. You know, you've got to have content that you want to share with the world. You've got to make time to edit the videos and put it out there, which is fun, but at the same time it's really hard. It's difficult, but I can't complain. I mean, the business is doing really well. I'm here at Jubilee Dental, the business I started last year, which is doing pretty well, and may that continue. You know, we'll continue to grow. Throughout the journey, you know, there were so many stories and obstacles and adventures ahead, which I'm going to share with you guys. You know, sorry, I've got this light that's going to be annoying me. But yeah, please, before I start, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share. You know, please support my journey. Like I said to you guys, you know, this is a diverse journey. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be sharing with you guys the business side of things. I'm going to be sharing with you guys the music side of things. I'm also an artist. I'm in a group with my brothers, and obviously I'm here. So as an entrepreneur, there's a lot going on in terms of business, which I'm going to be sharing with you guys. But I've always said before, like, this is not like a very calculated video where it's going to be edited to perfection, just for the sake of getting more clicks, you know. This is more like a diary where I sit down like this after a long day at work and talk to you guys about a few things that happens in our world and on a day-to-day basis. One of the conversations I wanted to talk about was how to deal with manipulators. I remember someone asked me that question because I went out for a business meeting and we were just talking about the industry that we work in, how it's so, you know, competitive, you know, to the point where people are willing to step on others' toes and just to get ahead, you know. People lie, people manipulate, you know, and how do you deal with manipulating and how do you spot them out? You know. But I guess what I would say, one of the key ways when you start spotting out manipulators is when you love yourself, self-love and self-awareness. Obviously, in loving yourself, you give you kind of giving yourself that self-awareness where you understand who you are as a person, you know, your behavior, and that how does that affect other people. And you also kind of observe more what the way people are behaving and how that affects the environment around you. How does that affect yourself? So definitely, it's quite easy to start spotting out people that are trying to manipulate you and especially if you're in a business environment or in a relationship. You know, if you have your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend trying to manipulate you know, you only learn and see that from the point of only when you detach and start loving yourself and start being aware of your own behavior. That's when you start seeing how people behave, you know. Even until now, I've got quite a few people in my life that manipulate. Those kind of people, I mean, don't get me wrong, we've all used some kind of manipulation to get what we want. That's a fact, you know. I'm not judging the whole world, but I'm saying in terms of the ones that are using it in a devastating ways to get what they want, you know, to go to the extreme, you know. Even till now, you know, I've got people in my life that I would 100% call manipulators, majorly. And you start seeing these things because, like, again, you know who you are and you can see from a distance, oh, now I know why she's doing that, you know. And I can probably say, where does that come from? manipulation comes from lack of confidence, lack of self-love, self-awareness, insecurity, um, whatever issues. It all kind of always stems from either your upbringing, your journey, or traumas that you've been through. There's got to be somewhere along the line where that behavior comes from. May that be something that you learn from your parents, and you're never gonna, and you don't know that, you don't realize that something that if you look back, it could be that one of your parents was a narcissistic or a manipulator who would manipulate your dad to get what your mother will manipulate your dad to get what she wanted, or your dad will be the manipulator to manipulate your mum, oh, something like that. Anyway, but there's always a source of where the problem comes from, and I think when you start digging deep into it, and you'll kind of see, because someone who manipulates would always behave like a child. And that's what I'm relating it to. When you grow up, it could be something that traumatic that happened when you was young, and you've seen the behavior of certain people when you was young. Because the behavior of a manipulator is always in a childish way. The selfish behavior, the kind of me, the lack of self-awareness, the lack of self-love, the lack of confidence, insecurity. It's so easy for me to spot out now. I mean, especially with the people around me, I can always tell when someone's very insecure, and they will always put you down in whatever you do. If you do something that they feel like it's a threat to them, instead of acknowledging that and praising, they would kind of put it down and kind of brush it aside, which you will never understand. Even if it's someone that you love, your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever, your work colleague, or whatever, which someone that you're close to. Imagine someone you're close to, and you did something well, and instead of them praising you or kind of showing love, they're kind of looking down on you and dismissing it. That's when you start spotting out these things. In a situation where you have a girlfriend who will try to manipulate you to get you to buy her something, a husband trying to manipulate you to get to have sex, whatever may that be. Manipulation comes from certain trauma that was created along the way. Even when you was a child, growing up, you've seen your mum, your dad, family members behave in a certain way, and you think that's okay to behave like that. Not realizing those kind of behaviors are the behaviors that would hurt other people, and you don't even have any empathy to feel what they're feeling. So your lack of self-awareness makes you kind of numb to other people's emotions and feelings. It's always about you. So that's why when you look at a child, a toddler, their behavior is always a kind of a selfish way. Me. So that is why it's so easy to spot it out. So, and how do I deal with it? I think for me, the first thing you do is when you become aware of, I mean, it's not easy. When you become aware of someone who manipulates you, I used to kind of go along with it. I used to kind of sometimes play dumb and trying to go along with it just to learn how far they're willing to take it, and they will probably push you to the point where thinking, oh, he's falling for it. But at the same time, I was playing the game of, okay, I know what you're trying to do, but I'm going to play along with it just to learn how far you're willing to take, how far stupid you are to really take this, so I can really find out who you are as a person. But I think now it's a lot more about distancing yourself. When you're surrounded by someone who manipulates, a lot of the time you got to distance yourself from that, because that could be a very toxic environment. You've got to create certain boundaries. 100%. Put boundaries in place. Make sure you don't engage in arguments You know, make sure you empathize with them in a sense where you understand where they're coming from, but at the same time you can tap out anytime you want to. You know, you don't need to engage in arguments. You don't need to be in the same environment as them. But if you have to be, limit yourself in terms of interaction. Definitely not be trusting with someone who manipulates, because if they can manipulate, they'll definitely sell you out. You know, in a business environment, don't be so naive. You know, especially when you have, like I said, the music industry, you've got so many sharks. If you're naive, you're gonna get eaten alive. So the key of how to deal with people that manipulate is to start with yourself. You know, start with yourself. Self-awareness, self-love. Be assured, be confident. You know, stand up tall. You know, because when you come across people that can manipulate, they will know if you're, you know, your soft spot. They will know if you're easy to manipulate because how you come across, you know. And the funny thing about it, someone who manipulates will find a person that's got confidence and self-belief. They will always criticize that person, and that's one thing you would spot out. You know, you might be sharing some good news and someone from a family member is like dismissing it. It's like, oh, I did this. You know, instead of listening to what you're saying, they kind of turn the whole conversation about them. You know, always remember, you know, that this is people that are very like self-centered, selfish, self-awareness, lack of self-awareness, lack of empathy when it comes to other people, emotionally not there. But yeah, you've just got to reconnect with yourself, be assured of who you are as a person and what you stand for, have boundaries, don't get too close, you know. Yeah, that's what I would say, because other than that, if you don't, in business, you're going to get done in. You know, that business is not going to go far, because if you've got the wrong people around you. In a relationship, oof, when it comes to life choices, especially if you're someone that on the path of being successful and work hard and ambitious and got a drive, choose the right person. That's my advice. Choose the right person, because if you don't, they're gonna destroy you. They're gonna destroy you, they're gonna destroy your vision, they're gonna destroy your dreams, they're gonna destroy your identity and leave you with nothing. So when it comes to friendship, relationship and business partnership, choose the right person. I'm telling you. Because if you make the wrong choice, the devil comes in disguise. That's what I'm saying. And you're gonna get eaten alive, guys. So spend that time studying who you are as a person. Be confident. Learn a lot about yourself. Start observing other people. Listen more. Scan to see who's around and the people that you can bring into your circle of friends and trustees. And no, just look after yourself and keep your distance. You know, you can communicate, but keep your distance. And that's how you do it, guys. Just make sure you don't get too close. You know, love yourself, self-awareness, self-confidence. Start watching, observing instead of diving in first. But make the right choice, guys. Definitely make the right choice, guys. It's been a pleasure. Come back again, guys. I'm on a journey. I'm on a journey. Yeah, it's just nice to be in this situation where I can finish work. Like I said, talk to you guys. It's not meant to be. You know, we live in a society where some people are very short attention span and they can easily move on. But this is not about that. If you're lonely, you're sitting at home, you're sitting somewhere, you know, this interaction is good. It's good. We can all learn from each other. None of us are above anyone. We all have flaws, and we all here on planet Earth to make mistakes and learn from each other. Never dismiss certain things before you kind of see the true values of it. We are very quick to dismiss people and things before we actually witness the true value of that person, or people, or thing. And one of the big mistakes we can make in life is that, and then have loads of regrets later on. Another way, guys, to deal with manipulators, which I've noticed quite a lot. One major thing that you can encounter with dealing with people that manipulate is definitely them getting aggressive when they don't get their own way. Normally you see kind of a child throwing tantrum when they don't get what they want. Mommy, I want a toy, I want this and that. And if they don't get it, there's always that behavior, tantrum behavior. It's pretty much similar when it comes to manipulators, because obviously if they don't get what they want, they'll definitely become more aggressive. They'll criticize more, insults, blackmail, just because they didn't get what they wanted. So, and that's why I said that kind of connects with toddler childhood trauma. Something that you may have seen when you was growing up and seeing your parents behave in a certain way, like I said, member of family. Because it's very easy for us to blame other people. You may blame your friends, you may blame your partners, thinking they are the problem, when you're not looking in the mirror. You're not. This is what I said about the self-awareness. You're not looking at your journey as a person, what part you play in situations. And it could be that the other person is the manipulator. But first and foremost, for me, it starts with yourself. If you do your work, understand who you are as a person, love yourself, you're going to become very much aware of someone who's trying to manipulate you, someone who's trying to blackmail you, because their behavior would always kind of feel like childlike, like a child who's not getting their own way, and they're kicking a fuss and tantrum and abusive. It's really sad, but this is the world we're living in. It's not just from the day-to-day life. It's not just from people. It's also leaders, presidents. That's why sometimes you see certain countries have fights. The president didn't get what he wanted, so he's going to rebel. He's going to throw a tantrum. He's going to want to go to war with another country because he didn't get what he wanted. So this thing about manipulation and really it kind of spreads across the world. So it's not just a relationship or business or friendship. It's a broad thing that most of us deal with and come across on our day-to-day lives across the world. So it's important that you do the work, your own work yourself, self-love, self-awareness, know who you are, put boundaries in place, learn about other people, empathize with other people, and understand why they behave like that. In doing that, you're kind of creating this shield from you getting hurt, because you understand what you're dealing with, but you know where to put the boundaries. You know where to kind of tap out. Like I said, you can still be in an environment with someone who's trying to manipulate you, but as long as there's boundaries in place where you can tap out, don't get too close, make them aware of that. You're not engaging in any kind of games or arguments, anything like that. So it's very, very important to understand that. That's one of the things that I would always say. When you're dealing with someone who's toxic and manipulative, they're always going to want to get what they want, and if they don't get it, they're going to want to argue. They're going to want to throw insults. They're going to try and blackmail you. There'll be threats. It's definitely something that I'm aware of because I've been through it, and I still go through it now. But you really have to disengage, really work hard on yourself to get to that place where you grow thick skin, so you can be able to deal with it and just know that it's not a personal thing. It's who that person is and who they are, and that's not your problem. You know, you've just got to be able to look after yourself, and walk, you know. But yeah, definitely guys, that's me for the day. Thank you very much for tuning in. You know, remember, look after yourselves always. You know, the only way you can deal with the toxic people, manipulators, you start work on yourself. Self-love, self-awareness, put boundaries in place, know when to tap out, know when to disengage, know when to walk away, know when to say no. And if any insults, any certain behavior comes your way, disengage, walk away. Make sure that person knows that you've got boundaries in place that they can't cross. And if they push, you walk away. Self-respect, self-love, much love. Thank you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe. I will see you in another video. Love, 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 love. Peace.